Hello, everyone. Hope you guys are doing amazing. Welcome to live coaching with Karishma on Wednesday afternoon, and I hope you guys are doing amazing. I know there's like crazy winter warnings and storms and all that stuff all around the country. So if you're affected by any of those, be safe, stay warm, and enjoy like just the ability to stay home. Hopefully everybody is able to work remotely, especially in this day and age. And we're going to get rocking and rolling. And, sometimes I give these lives a topic and I don't stay on topic. So it is what it is. I'm glad you're here. Come on in and say hello. Say where do you live? And say hi. Say where do you live? And just if you're watching live, write hashtag live. If you're watching a replay, write hashtag replay. And I'm glad to have you all here this beautiful, cold Wednesday afternoon from Texas. And what I wanted to talk to today, and it's kind of just what's been happening, is kind of what I'm sharing here, lessons that I'm learning in my life, lessons that I'm learning from clients' lives that I support. And what I wanted to talk about today was a little bit of the power of language and the power of self-talk. And that's kind of what's been coming up for me today. And words are really powerful. Words are really powerful. I just got off an hour coaching call this morning. I went into a lot of specific coaching with clients just an hour ago. And what I talked about in there was just, about the power of language and the power of self-talk. And I wanted to share the story that I started out with in my coaching call. I'm going to share this story with you. And some of you may have heard this story, and it's right on point. And the story is of an old Cherokee. And an old Cherokee is teaching his grandson about life. And he tells his grandson, a fight is going on inside of me. He says it's a terrible fight. And it's between two wolves. One is evil. He is anger. Envy, sorrow, regret, greed, arrogance, self-pity, guilt, resentment, inferiority, lies, pride, false sense of pride, ego, superiority. And he continues, the other is good. The other is good. He is joy, peace, love, hope, serenity, humility, kindness, benevolence, empathy, generosity, truth, compassion, and faith. The same fight is going on inside of you and inside every other person too. The grandson thought about it for a minute and asked his grandfather, which wolf will win? The old Cherokee simply replied, the one you feed. The one you feed. And so those are the two voices in our head. Put a 1 in the chat if that resonates. And if you're coming on, welcome. Glad to have you here. If you're here live, write hashtag live. If you're here on a replay, write hashtag replay. So how do we feed that wolf? How do we feed that wolf, the two wolves in our mind? The wolf of fear versus the wolf of love. And let's kind of talk about that today. And it really comes down to language. It really comes down to language. I had a coaching call yesterday with my coach, and he shared something at the end of the call that really stuck with me. And the truth is that voice inside of our head is always talking, right? That voice inside of our head is always going, and it's always creating a story. And the truth is, whether or not you say those words out loud, you have language to communicate out loud what's going on inside of your head, your beliefs about yourself, your beliefs about your reality, your beliefs about everything. The truth is, you are always listening to you. You are always listening to you. And it's really important, just like we have those two wolves in our head, the wolf, the voice of fear, and the voice of love. We have to be really, really conscious, really, really aware of what we're feeding to ourselves. And, everything that I talk about with my coaching is the reality that we have within us. The relationship that we have within us is the relationship that we're going to have with the outside world. And I'm telling you, every single one of you, you may have heard of the law of attraction. Every one of you is really, really powerful. Every one of you is really, really powerful. And that voice inside of our head, it fuels energy. And so it's like we're literally fueling energy. And I kind of explain it as like an invisible broadcast system that we're sending out to the universe. We're sending this signals out to the universe. We're sending waves of information out to the universe. And we're going, this is who I am. This is what I'm attracting. And everything that I believe about me is what I'm going to attract on the outside. So if I have this relationship within me, if I have this self-talk within me that's kind of screaming, I'm in fear. I'm in pain. I'm in survival. I'm in lack. I don't have money. All the things that we say to ourselves, we're literally perpetuating that reality. And I'm going to share a really crazy, powerful example because this literally happened with me last week. And I'm going to share this with you because this is how powerful I am. And this is how powerful every one of us is, literally. So I had a client last week. She came to me. She was a referral from one of my other clients who's been with me for 2 years, who's really happy with me, and it has an incredible results in his life for me, with me. And he referred one of his friends over to me to be a potential client. So I talked to her. She goes in this relationship and she goes like all in. She's like ready to pay. She's ready to pay in full, all the things. And I'm like, okay, amazing. And what happened with her is she had to split her payment into 2 credit cards. So her primary payment, the bulk of the payment was on credit card 1. And then the second credit card has like the smaller amount of the payment. And so, I got her information, all the things, went through the process, and I went to put in credit card 1, and it didn't authorize me to run it. And I took a screenshot, I sent it to her. I'm like, hey, do you mind taking a look at this? Whatever. This is the error that I'm getting. Credit card 2 went through all the way. Again, minimal payment was credit card 2. Credit card 1 was the bulk of the payment. And, in that moment, as the hours went on, because generally, and what I've really come to realize, like clients that are like, yes, I'm all in, they're committed, they're ready to go, they get amazing results. I know when I make quick decisions, like my old go-to was to sit there and go in my head and play the same tape over and over again, right? And I don't know if any of you can relate to me. My old self was really indecisive. And, I'm just realizing more and more that usually when I have a first response, my gut response is the right response. And everything else that happens is not really the right response. It's a reaction to the response. It's my mind playing into my fears, my mind creating drama, my mind creating mental loops over and over and over again. And that's what I've realized is my go-to. And so her initial response, her gut response was like, hell yes, I'm all in. Paying in full, here's my payment. And guess what happened with her? As the hours went on, and essentially what she had to do is it was like a special kind of credit card, whatever, and she had to get authorization for the funds, and the funds wouldn't come through until the next business day. And guess what happened with every hour that the funds hadn't processed through for her? Every hour, she went into a mental spiral. She went into her mental self-talk. She literally told me all the reasons why she wanted to sign up for coaching. Karishma, I've tried everything under the sun. I know everything that I've tried isn't working. I'm willing to try something different. Like right there on the call, gut response, I'm all in, and I'm ready, I'm doing this. And then she went right back into her old mental cassette tape, or record, whatever you want to call it, right? I'm going old school here. And she went right back into that loop that she had before. She started questioning her decision. And it was so funny because literally I'm on the call with her. She's like, Karishma, I want to be really firm with my intuition. I want to make decisions based on confidence. I want to have that confidence with my business, with my career. I want to have that confidence with my relationship. I want to have that confidence with my health. So she's talking about confidence, and she talks about her old go-to pattern was indecisiveness, not making a decision, questioning herself, self-doubt, so on and so forth. And guess where she went? Literally every hour after this conversation where she was a hell yes, my gut says yes, I'm all in. Every hour after, she questioned herself. She went right back to her doubt. She went right back into her fear. And she went right back into the same rabbit hole that she did not want to be in anymore, which was the reason that she was signing up for coaching. And it was such a crazy lesson for me, because it really was like, oh my God, like this is what happens. And guess what happened with me? Again, I'm in a commission role, just like a lot of you are. Every entrepreneur is in a commission role. And as the hours went on where I didn't get the confirmation from her, and I happened to have, I could feel what was happening with her. And my fears came up. So not only that, now she has that fear radar of, oh my God, I'm scared to make a decision. And she went right back into her old pattern. But my fear came up And that confidence that I had, and I have those moments too. I'm a coach, and yet I have those moments too, like every one of you does, like every one of us does. And my fear radar went up, and I'm sure I pushed her away energetically. And that's the power of our emotions. So long story short, next day, I gave her back her money. And I'm like, you know what? And at that point, she wasn't a hell yes. She went right back into her old. She went right back into her doubt. She went right back into her stuff. And I was like, you know what? I want the hell yes people. I want the hell yes people that are really committed to making their lives incredible, that are really ready to step into the confidence and really ready to overcome the stuff that's getting in the way. And on the next day, she wasn't that anymore. And so it was like I got to say, you know what? This is in an alignment with me. And she got to say, this is in alignment with me. And we parted ways. It was so beautiful. And I learned a really powerful lesson. What is the power of language that I have in creating my reality? What is the power of language that you have in creating your reality? And the truth is, we say stuff all the time about ourselves, and we're always hypnotizing ourselves. We're hypnotizing ourselves to be more confident. We're hypnotizing ourselves to be more fearful. Again, it's the story of the two wolves. Which one do you feed it? And I really want you to start being aware of the language that you have with you. Are you using words like I am? And what comes after I am? I am powerful. I am confident. I am capable. I already am doing the thing. I have the abundance. I have I have the tools. I have the resources. Are those empowering words the ones that you use in your vocabulary? Or like most people, are you saying, I guess, I'll try? Try is like horrible. Try is literally you telling your mind, you know what? We've done it before. We've already failed. I'm just saying this to make myself feel better. But the truth is, it's probably not going to be very different than it was previously. So even I'll try can be a self-deprecating thought that it's not convincing. Say it out loud. I'll try. Versus I am. I do. I have. I'm enjoying. I'm doing. I'm choosing. Way more empowering than I'll try. And I was like sharing with my clients this morning. It was so funny. I used to live in Dubai in 2008, 2010. My ex-husband and I lived in Dubai, and he had work that took him overseas. And there in an Arabic country, they use inshallah. Inshallah is like God willing. God willing is the word they use, inshallah. And previous to like my knowledge of being in Dubai, inshallah meant like kind of if God wants it, like thine will be done, kind of that interpretation. Well, when I went to Dubai, they would use inshallah, and inshallah was like, there's no way in hell. So they'd be like, inshallah, like I'll get this to you, inshallah, by next week. And I'm like, inshallah was like, there's no way in hell. And it was the equivalent of I'll try. And I want you to just take a moment and reflect on your life. What are the moments in your life where you tell yourself, I'll try? Are there health goals that you've had? Are there relationship goals that you've had? Are there business goals, work goals, career goals that you've had? And think of a time when you had a goal and you said, I'll try. And really kind of take a moment now to self-reflect. What were your beliefs around that goal? What were your beliefs about you around that goal? And what were the beliefs of other people in your life about you with that goal? And sometimes, that community piece is really important. I had another client call last week where she was sharing about her husband not being supportive of her and her business goals. And every time she would make efforts, or every time that she wouldn't follow through and get results, right? And it takes time to have a business. It takes time to create momentum in that business. And it creates a lot of consistency and time and accountability and all these things in that business. And, I feel like my clients get incredible results because it's not just me coaching them. There's accountability. Who we hang out with becomes that voice of self-talk. It literally affects our ability to believe in ourselves and get out of our own way. And sometimes having accountability is everything. Sometimes having someone believe in you when you don't believe in yourself is everything. And if I've ever accomplished anything in my life, it's always been out of my comfort zone, but because there's been voices behind the scenes that have been rooting for me and like, Karishma, you can do it, way before I believed that I could. And so this woman was sharing with me her fears. And now every week that she wasn't getting results in her business, her husband was more and more in fear. Her husband was more and more in doubt. And he was doubting her. He was doubting her more and more. And his fears came to the surface and he wasn't able to support her. What is her likelihood of making results in that business if already she's got her own beliefs of doubting herself, already her beliefs of not believing in herself, and now the weight, the power that she's given her husband to influence how she believes about herself is literally crushing her self-esteem. This has been happening the last 6 months. So it's really important to be aware of those voices that feed energy into our life, that feed energy into our thoughts, that feed energy into our actions, and feed energy into our ability to believe in ourselves. Because the truth is, if I don't believe I can, I'm probably not going to show up. I'm probably not going to try. Worse, I see it all the time, I'm probably going to self-sabotage. And I've been able to help a lot of clients get out of that self-sabotaging piece, because I'll help them see that this behavior that they have is based on a belief that isn't serving them. That even though they want the thing that they want, health, wealth, relationships, whatever it is that they want, somehow they're using the self-deprecation, they're letting something else influence their beliefs about themselves, and they're giving that power. And it's almost like if someone's telling you you're not good enough, and now every time that you don't get results in your business, you go, I'm not good enough. Now we're just adding fuel to that belief. And then the next time you fail, you're going to be like, why did I try? And at some point, much, much farther or not, it's so easy to throw in the towel, because that self-rejection is so thick, that hurt, that blame, that guilt, all of that is so thick. I had another client, there's this history of not feeling he could do things. And it was perpetuated in his childhood, where there was a lot of perfectionism in his childhood. So if you had perfectionist parents, they're always reinforcing that you can't do anything right. Think about it. What is that negative voice? What is that voice of self-talk that's happening in this person's voice, in this person's head? They're always going to be like, no matter what I do, it's not good enough because it's not perfect. And if I'm not perfect, it means I'm not good enough, right? And so it becomes a cycle. And so every time he tries something, and every time he fails at it, or it doesn't go the way he wants it to, what's going to be the belief that he has about himself? That belief, that limiting belief, is going to become bigger and bigger. And his ability to follow through on anything is not going to happen. And what's happened for him has been a whole pattern, a whole life of trying things. And the second things go awry, I'm out of here. Not committing to anything. Not committing to anything. Not committing to his hopes and dreams. Not feeling he can ever do it. And that's how important that voice is. So I kind of wanted to say, like, the next thing that I'm going to say was really, really powerful for me, which is, if I say that thing to me, whatever it is, okay? Whatever that thing is that I'm saying to me, it could be, I'm too much. I'm not enough. I can't do it. I'm not doing enough. I'm not trying enough. I'm not having enough. Whatever it is that I'm telling myself, if I'm saying that thing to me, because I am, right? We all are saying these things to ourselves. First of all, that becomes a self-fulfilling prophecy. Words become our reality. They really do. It's more than that, but words really matter, and words become our reality. The second thing is, if we give ourselves permission to say those things to ourselves, we also are giving other people permission to say those things out loud to us. And people treat us in the way that we train them to. People treat us in the way that we feel like we deserve to be treated. And isn't it time to be aware of the language that we have today? So I'm going to invite you all to pay attention. Start noticing the words that come out of your mouth, the power of I am. Because the truth is, I am, and you are infinite. I am limitless. I am capable. I am worthy. I am loved. I am lovable. I am enough. And the more we start saying those things and ensuring that the people around us are reinforcing those things, now we start creating the energy, the intention in our life, and we start blasting that invisible radar out, signal out to the universe and go, you know what? This person here is worthy of deserving the abundance that she wants, the life that she wants, the business that she wants, the relationship that she wants, the health that she wants. And I am more than enough. So I wanted to take a moment and share that wisdom with you. And, even going through this experience the last few days for me has been so powerful. It's been an invitation for me to just love myself even more, to start having that process of self-awareness even more, to be even more cognizant of my language so that I can create this beautiful belief system within me. And what I believe about me is what I'm going to attract from the outside. So I want to take a moment to share all of that with you. Thank you all for being here. I was going to do this in just January, but I love being here with you. I love just speaking from my heart, whatever's going on. A lot of times I don't even come on with a topic. It's just kind of like, hey, whatever's going to come up is going to come up. It's perfect. So I'm going to continue this in February. I hope you continue to join me every week. It's going to be a recurring meeting right here, Facebook Live, and my group. And I hope you like the name change too, Confident Empowered Leaders. Because I feel like it's not just about real estate investors, it's about everybody. The messaging I'm giving is relevant for everybody. So let's bring them on. Let's bring your friends and just share empowerment with them today. That's my only intention. So I'll be on every week, Wednesdays this month, February, except the February 15th. That's the only week that I will not be on. I'm going to be traveling and doing a little getaway. But outside of that, I will be here. If I'm in town, I'm here, I'm working, I will show up for you. And I hope you can show up for you as well. I hope you have a beautiful rest of the day, and I'll talk to all of you soon. Bye.